Here's something I want to mention. If you are someone who constantly complains about bad things happening to you, or if like someone is constantly complaining, or you know someone who constantly complains about bad things happening to them, or just things not going their way, and they just constantly have something to cry about or complain about, you need to know that that person is attached to that complaining and feeling like the universe is always attacking them. The universe is not actually attacking them. The universe just wants them to learn the lesson and move on with their lives. But the person is attached to not learning the lesson, number one, and number two, constantly being bothered by the lesson. So they are attached to being bothered by their problems, because not being bothered by their problems is a frequency, is a wavelength that they've never experienced. So that's new for them, and what's new is uncomfortable for them. So being bothered by their problems, complaining about their problems, yet not doing anything to change the problem itself, or finding something else entirely. Like they might fix that problem, but they will find something else to complain about. They will find something to feel sad about, be worried about. These people are so used to feeling like there has to be something wrong. And as long as it's the something wrong is something very tangible, right? It's like, um, oh my god, I'm so angry that it's raining today. It's something that's raining. It's not the end of the world. You won't die from rain, right? So they're just going to complain about that because it makes them, in their baseline frequency, feel comfortable, because it's uncomfortable due to the rain. They're getting uncomfortable, but it's not so uncomfortable that makes them lose their shit, but it's also not so comfortable that they grow uncomfortable in the newness and the novelty of it, right? So for these people, I just want to say, let yourself be free from this worry. Life is not meant to be tough. Life is not meant to be extremely difficult, and it's not meant to constantly keep you on your toes. You can, like, I'm getting the idea to explain this through an imagery, so I'm going to. You imagine like a ship, right, which has a motor. I recently was on a boat where they had a ship and it was a motor. It had a motor, right? So the motor would only go on when you had to change the direction. That is, the ship workers were only turning on the motor when they wanted to change directions or do something specific against the tide of the ocean, like put some extra effort. Otherwise, they were letting the waves of the ocean carry the ship. Just like that, we need to be in that frequency. We need to create friction, yes, but that friction needs to only be created for some time. It does not have to go on for the rest of our lives. You don't have to have everything in control. You are the ship. You will be carried by the waves, right? You will not sink when you are being carried by the waves. You just need to trust that you will not sink, and you will not sink. You might face some turbulence, you might run into some bumps, you might even topple, like your ship might even topple, but you will not sink. You will find a lifeboat, you will find your life jacket or whatever it is. God will send help. He will not put you through anything that you cannot go through without ever um sinking. Like he will not send any lesson your way that is not yours to learn and that you cannot handle. So just know that and rest. Everything is planned, everything is already in motion. You have some leeway in life, but what I've realized is don't get attached. Basically, basic gist of this reading is, I'm getting ADHD again, is to not be attached to your problems. Be attached to the problems, lessons that the problems are trying to teach you. Be attached to the lessons that the problems are trying to teach you rather than the problems themselves. And stop complaining about your problems and start looking for solutions. Once you find those solutions, learn the lesson that was meant to be, do the solution, and move on with your life. And stop holding on to stuff like trauma, right? Like, I had this hard time once in such a long time ago, and I'm still holding that trauma and I'm holding that pain in my heart. Great that you had that trauma. Learn from that trauma. Learn that you valued yourself so less that you allowed the other person to hold that much power over you that they could give you that trauma, but move on from that trauma. Confirmation verbs. That person does not have that much power over you anymore. And that is your lesson, that is your growth, that is your testament that you have grown as a person. Because shit that people say 10 years ago to you were able to say get away with, they could never say that to your face today and get away with it. And you say nothing. That means you value yourself more. This is what this is about. This is what life is about, to find out how cool you are by you, how you find yourself cool, have you find yourself rather than other people just stumble across your magnificence and just somehow grow amazed by you. Like, no, other people are insignificant in your life. And I know it comes from a very it might sound very egotistical to say other people are very insignificant in your life, but it is actually true, because it is truly when you understand that you are the only person in your life whose opinion matters, whose views matter in your life, that you finally give yourself the freedom to think independently and draw conclusions that are your own and not directed by other people's ideals of you. But this takes years and years, because you need to unlearn everything that you think is yours first. First, you need to take off all the borrowed clothing in the form of ideas and everything that you've carried on from everyone else around you. Put that in a dump truck and send it away, and then formulate your own ideas and formulate your own desires and what you want from your life, and then only can you move forward. So yeah, that's kind of what season that I'm in right now, and it's a very confusing season, because it's like a complete identity shift. It's a complete 360 for everything in my life. Like, every aspect of my life is shifting 360 degrees. It's a complete 180. Why am I saying 360? You can tell that I'm not good at maths, but yeah, I'm just saying it's life, and I'm living it, you're living it, and it's a great life actually. We could have it way worse, but we don't. So be grateful about that. Stop fucking complaining about your life and start living how the fuck you want to live your life, because it isn't going to be that long before you leave this planet. You think you have a lot of years, but really you could die tomorrow. Seriously, like, it like that your life could be gone. So it's better to make the most of what you have right now rather than spend time doing something that's not yours completely. Owning what you want to do with your life completely. Bye.